So we're getting a mixed market today with some altcoins in the green as Ethereum makes new all-time highs. And as the traditional market continues to get hit and the dollar index moves up, this setup puts pressure on the cryptos. So today we'll get into Bitcoin and the XRP chart to follow up on their price action, and we'll even do some TA on Ethereum to map out where its next move will be. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with the esoteric science of Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. If you haven't already subscribed and you like what we're doing here, feel free to subscribe. Give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. And for those of you who want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course. There's a promo code in the pinned comment below with instructions to get lifetime access to the course with a discount. My email's in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And for those of you who've joined Patreon, I appreciate your support. The Mastermind community has now grown to 200 members, all like-minded, conscious individuals seeking truths and empowering each other to thrive in this matrix. It's amazing to see and be a part of so many incredible conversations, and they actually have meaning, unlike the surface level theater most people are consumed by. So I appreciate all of you who've become Mastermind community members, and I'm excited to continue to grow our family and give out those red pills. So first things first, let's just look at what's going on with Ethereum. So as most of you might know, I don't really give too much light to ETH, mostly because I'm not a huge holder of it. I do have a bunch of ETH, but it's not one of the projects I'm the most excited about. Gas fees are pretty awful, but it is what it is. Like I've said time and time again here on this channel, it doesn't really matter about fundamentals or utility at all. It just matters what the New World Order wants to pump liquidity into. And if you buy it down here, and you are able to see it go up here and sell it, you've made money. And that's really all that matters. With that being said, Ethereum dominance is now around 20% of all the cryptos. So it is very, it's incredible to have seen such a growth in Ethereum. And as you can see in this chart, it's just moving up in a straight line. I found something really interesting, though, about today in particular, and this might give some answers as to what's going on with Ethereum. And what I did was, of course, with Gematria, you have ETH, the ticker symbol, equaling 33. And if you go back to Rosh Hashanah in 2020, which was the last Hebrew New Year, ending on September 20th, 2020, and you take that date, September 20th, 2020 to today, which is May 12th, 2021, you get 33 weeks and 3 days. Now, again, coming back to this 33 in ETH, it could be a huge reason why this is happening. So sometimes I like to play around with the Hebrew New Year, either it being September 18th, the start or the beginning, or the 20th. It's always interesting to compare those dates to where we are today, and you get some fascinating numbers. But this 333 connection is huge. Of course, 33 for the 33rd degree, 33rd degree Mason. 33rd degree is when ice turns back to water, also known as the unfrozen mind, like a pineal gland which has been decalcified, or an illumined one that has been enlightened. And that 33rd degree and higher is where the rituals get crazier and crazier, and you essentially will show them what you're willing to sacrifice and what you're willing to do for your place in this society. With that being said, this 33 weeks and 3 days phenomenon is incredible, and I didn't quite think about that all the way until I just sort of thought about the 33, and I was wondering, what's going on here with ETH? I know ETH has the tie to the 33, but So let's just look at what the next upside targets would be. The most obvious upside target would be the 4236. So essentially what happens here in these ranges, just disregard this liquidity event right here. This is the Kraken chart, and it is a little bit They did have a huge liquidity event on February 22nd. Again, that's the 222 date, so no surprise that something happened. But anyways, pulling a fib from this previous high around 2036 down to this wick low around 12,098 to backtest this previous level of trading range, you created this whole area right here. Then you had this nice W pattern breakout heading up to the 1618. And then you see at the 1618, we got resistance. The 1618 is called the Fibonacci golden ratio. Then you have another W pattern, and once you break out of the 1618, you basically move straight to the 4236. I've went over this in a lot of my videos. I go over this in the Mastermind course, and this 4236, it's not the end. It could keep going, and where it could keep going for Ethereum might be the 4.8 fib, which is around 4,800, and the reason for that is because ETH equals 48. So I could see that happening, and then also from a more macro perspective, if you pull fibs from the previous all-time high, which was around $1,400 on most charts for Ethereum, down to this C-scam crash in March of last year, you get these levels. And if you look at where this 3618 is, 3618 is essentially right in line with that 4.8. So again, $4,800 on ETH. And then like the most ridiculous it would be getting is above 5,100. And the reason I chose 5,100 is because ETH equals 15. So 15 and in reverse or mirrored is 51. So that would be my next big move. I would see it wicking to 5,100. And then by then, the RSI is probably going to be pretty overheated. If it wanted to move straight to 5,100, you're going to start seeing 90 RSI or higher. And that's just overheated. You know, that's a full $900 from where we are right now. It's a pretty big move, given the amount of movement we've already seen. So, you know, to go to 5,100 would be an additional 21% to the upside. And that would be like very blow off top like. And once that moment happens, it might recreate a new trading range, something like this, where it goes sideways for a little and potentially it would give up some of its market cap and flood into Bitcoin. And that might be the moment where Bitcoin starts heading to that $100,000 range. So what we could be seeing right now with Ethereum might be a precursor to what's to come for the rest of this market structure, which is ETH moving up to 4,800, potentially 5,100, or even maybe higher if they really want to, you know, juice it up. But again, the RSI getting above 90 is precarious. So as it heads up to that 5,100, if it wants to go that far, by coming back and creating a larger trading range, perhaps all the way pulling back to the 2618, that larger trading range, which would look something like this, up to 5,100, come back, maybe dip to the 2618, and then create a larger trading range like this. And this could last, you know, throughout maybe 100 days or so. That's pretty normal. So if it wants to do this backup where it goes into this range right here, that could create a lot of liquidity for flooding into smaller cap altcoins, and also it could be to balance out Bitcoin dominance. So we have to see how that goes. But as for using the Gematria and coinciding it with the technical analysis, I see this going as high as 5,100, again, because ETH equals 15, in reverse 51. And after 5,100, I anticipate that to overheat on the RSI, and then you would see MACD flip bearish, most likely because it's just going in a straight line right now. And that would give room for a correction probably down to as far as 3,300. Again, 3,300 because of the 33. And this connection here that we've gotten with the Hebrew New Year all the way until today equaling 33 weeks and 3 days. And we're just seeing ETH is blowing every other crypto out of the water. So this is really exciting to see for Ethereum holders, but it also is exciting to see how this market is remaining bullish in the second biggest altcoin while the stock market is pulling back. So I do want to touch on that really quickly because it is part of the bigger picture. The stock market pulling back is creating problems for most of the altcoins. As you can see, Bitcoin is down 2% right now. XRP is down 4%. A lot of these alts are pulling back. I saw at one point Polkadot was up like 12, 13%, but now it's only 4% up. So there's a lot of liquidity leaving the stock market indices, and that's creating pressure. So one thing to note, this DXY is just right back up. And if you guys remember me discussing this chart, the dollar index chart, I had this trend line, and you see how it was 1, 2, 3 touch points, and then it pumped up and then came back down and fell right through. And now, since it's fell through, look at where it's at. It's coming back into it, and if it fails this level by today, it could have a couple more trading days riding up this. It could cause a rejection of previous support, and that would be called a confirmed breakdown. Now, that would be very bullish for the stock market. That would be very bullish for cryptos. So, in the event that this can't break back into this structure, what this would look like is a rejection, failed, and a confirmed once it gets a new low right here. So, that's in the cards. And, the New World Order right now is totally pushing oil, like crude oil. And just in the town that I live in yesterday, there's like all these people freaking out buying gas because they think gas is like gone and shit like that. And, you ask somebody why they think that, and they tell you because of the news. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You, like, people literally are so addicted to their televisions. All they care about is the news. But when people who are prepping with canned food and having fuel on the side and water, when they are talking about doing it 6 months ago, they're a conspiracy theorist. They sound crazy. Do you see the problem with this? So the sheep wait till the TV tells them how to live their lives. And this affects everything because the market is an organism. And when this organism is consumed by fear, it will react in the market. That's just the way it goes. That's why I really like Wyckoff method, because Richard Wyckoff looked at this whole market as an emotional sentiment and how the market will move very violently in one direction, either up or down, depending on the market sentiment. So again, it's one of those when everyone's fearful, you should be greedy moments. And that's why every single dip that we've seen in crypto for the last 4 or 5 months has been the greatest buying opportunity for you to be seeing new highs. So I'm not disregarding there's a potential correction here in the making with the stock market as a whole. If that happened, oh well, that's life. Again, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit and bitch and moan and cry? Or are you going to make some moves and better yourself, I know nobody wants to talk like that to other people, but that's what I'm here to do. So if I had to look at this structure and this channel, what we're seeing here is a massive parallel channel going on here. And it doesn't need to be clean. It's just showing you how most of this works. And this pink line right here, you can see if I was to zoom in, see this W pattern, how it saw resistance, then it broke up, got above. Now it's confirmed support. Then it jumps back up, support, support. It had this one moment that was a fake out. This fake out was this double bottom scenario. I was actually telling people about this in my mastermind course. This was the greatest buying opportunity for all cryptocurrencies because even though the Dow was down, this was when if you bought any crypto, especially an altcoin, you were like a genius. And this was very recent. This was a W double bottom fake out before the election. Then once the election was over, boom, new highs. So now you see back on this pink line, support. Again, support. So where could this come down to, guys? Yeah, it could literally come right back down to this line and do another double bottom and then continue. But if it wants to shed all that value from here, where it's at right now, down to this level right here of 32,000 points, that would be another 4%. And then that would be a total correction off the top of 7% for the stock market. And it could give back 8, 9, 10%, go below this line and still be on a bullish trajectory without a quote unquote market crash. So people need to be prepared, man, because this is a very weird economic time. This is like an unprecedented time in all finances. We're watching the greatest wealth transfer ever happening during a time where, everyone's making all this money off of crypto. Now, that's fantasy economics. The fact that our GDP is rock bottom, but we just saw a new all time high last week in the stock market. And this is global, by the way. Like, a lot of Europe is transitioning into a universal basic income system. Canada is transitioning into a universal basic income system. I've been telling everyone I know, I wouldn't even be surprised if by July, the United States of America is on a universal basic income system. I mean, it essentially has been if you consider all the free money they've been receiving from stimulus and from benefits from unemployment. A lot of people are still on unemployment now for over a year, and they've been making more money on a weekly basis than they were when they were working. So that's creating hyperinflation. So the gas price is going to be $7 a gallon probably by July. How are normal people going to be able to afford that kind of, you know what I'm saying? So the long and short of it is anyone who's in crypto right now, especially while there's cash in existence, while people are walking around and transacting things still in cash, please know that we're early. And because we're still early to this crypto space, it's going to be heavily volatile. And you want to play on that volatility. But there's no certainties here. A bull market typically has 30 or 40% corrections for Bitcoin, and it used to happen in the last cycle 7 or 8 times before we had the all time high. So, what we're seeing right now for Bitcoin, particularly, is just a huge trading range. I mean, it's been trading in this area of around 50,000 now for 80 days straight. So this is setting up to show you what the future bottom of the Bitcoin price will be. The next bear market bottom will be around 55 to 60,000. Now that's incredible to know that if you bought Bitcoin before these prices, you're basically buying it at rock bottom. That's like buying Bitcoin at $3,000, right here during the winter time of 2018, or even buying it at the COVID crash right here. That whole floor right there is basically what this new floor is going to be around the 50,000 level if we go 1 year in the future. So again, that's not my opinion, that's technical analysis. If you look at logarithmic growth curve chart, you'll see exactly what I'm saying. For instance, this is the chart right here. If I bring it into a weekly, you could see what I mean. How if we go up to the winter time of 2023, you see where the bottom of this chart goes, $52,000. So again, this chart has been perfectly spot on except for one moment, and it was this crash right here in March where every single crypto went down. It was an economic reset or a black swan event. During black swan events, all TA, everything goes out the window. Just like right now, all fundamentals and fundamentals and economic data is going out the window. How we have record high stock prices while we have everyone on unemployment. I mean, that kind of shit doesn't make sense. So we've decoupled from reality when it comes to the basic economics, and now we're starting to see it catch up to us. You know what I mean? So again, I wouldn't be surprised if this market went any way at this time. We've been making predictions about this 19th week, and this 19th week, we don't know what could happen. At the end of the day, we're just humans here. So let's just catch up with XRP and then end this video. It's a little bit longer, but I feel like that sort of information would be helpful for people, what we just went over. So I'm seeing two things going on. For one, we have somewhat of a bottom trend line support. As you can see from the moment we broke out on April 4th, we see 1 wick, 2 wicks, and then 3 wicks perfectly along this line. So I like this bottom trend line. Now this top is precarious looking. I don't love the way this top looks, but it's just on the candle bodies. So these wicks are very sporadic. Again, with altcoins, that's typically what you have to deal with. But for the candle bodies, you can see it's perfectly playing as a resistance. So you have this nice wick level support here for those extreme moves to the downside, and then you have these candle body closes on the daily for the resistance. And I like the way this looks. It's as clean as I can get it. Let's just say that. Now, if I was to do a measured move on this structure, which would be from basically the top of this down to around this trading range when we broke out, and I was to put it at the very apex, you'll be seeing there is a move up to the upside around $2.70. Now, that's the prediction target that I've been telling everyone I'm anticipating on the next move for XRP. So this trading range might actually be more and more technical than it was just me picking a number using Gematria. Again, Ripple with that 27. So I anticipate that $2.70, and that wouldn't be too far from the 3.2, which is really close to the previous all-time high. So this previous all-time high could still happen in this month. It wouldn't even be that big of a jump. Sorry, I meant to the $2.70 level. That would only be 100% move to the upside, which with XRP could happen in a couple days. Like right here, this one candle alone was 43.7%. The next day it was 20%. So this kind of shit could happen. I would not be surprised if it did, but again, we're seeing a lot of turbulence in this market during this week. So anything could happen. But there's another pattern I'm seeing forming, which could be a bull flag. So now the flag pole on the short term would be something like this. And then here you see it's a resistance, but also a support. Let me change the color so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. So you see right here, this was a resistance, then this day was a resistance, and then right here you're seeing it become a support. So this is the best you can do on like a daily chart, just to be simple. And then you would take this flagpole, and it would be a half staff breakout. So you'd put it to around the breakout target at the bottom of the flag itself, and then you're looking at a breakout target of around $2.05. So when I was anticipating a $2 XRP this month, it's coming into two separate forms of technical analysis. It could be this shorter term bull flag that gets us above $2. And then it could also be this huge pattern here, which would be a really weird pennant. Again, symmetrical triangles and triangle patterns are typically multi-week or 1 month minimum. That's what you would consider a triangle. But this is a pennant. It's just a couple weeks, and it's also the form of it is really weird looking. But again, with XRP and with altcoins, they don't follow the traditional technical analysis that you would do with Forex or the traditional markets. So anyways, we have two things right there. And how would we know we're ready for new highs? Well, maybe we come down one more time, see resistance, break through, get rejected at the golden pocket a second time, then come down, confirm this outside as a new support, and then move on to the upside. Get a close outside of the golden pocket, and then you'd be seeing that $2 XRP. Now, for the amount of time this takes, it could happen very fast. So again, it could happen in the next week or so. And that would be a move of about 43% to the upside. So it's possible. Again, I'm only bullish until I see a daily close above the golden pocket, the 786. So I'm going to leave it at that. There's definitely some blood in the streets for anyone looking to scoop up altcoins. Might be a good opportunity today and tomorrow. We'll see how this goes. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.